Tomorrow marks the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, so we decided to look right here at home in Israel to explore the reality of disabilities across Israeli society. I'd like to introduce you to Salsabiel Takruri. She's a community social worker here in Israel at Beit, Issie, Shapiro, an organization for disabled people. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So first of all, I want to begin with your personal story. You work in the Arab town of Qalansua, and you grew up with a disabled parent. How did your own experience influence your career?
Well, my personal story propelled me to choose my career. As you have said, I'm a community social worker. I work at the Family Advancement Center at Beit Shapiro. My father is hearing impaired. I grew up speaking 3 languages, Arabic, Hebrew, and English.
Wow.
Only recently I learned sign language. I'll just answer the unasked question. We used home sign at home, which means the gestures that we created, developed at home to communicate with each other. I believe in the potential of each person, the abilities of each person that they can fulfill in the community.
And that must have been extremely difficult for you, having a disabled parent. Were you having to take on some of those responsibilities as a child?
It wasn't difficult because my father urged people to communicate straight with him, directly with him.
Yeah.
But still, I used to facilitate many times for him, like at school meetings when they invite parents to school meetings, and I used to accompany my father to facilitate for him.
Wow.
But it wasn't difficult. It wasn't difficult at all.
Tell us a bit about the challenges specifically disabled people from the Arabic sector face.
First thing first, the access to information. Sadly, information is available in Hebrew, only in Hebrew. So this prevents families from accessing their rights. First to know about their rights and then to access their rights. That's why we have a consultation line at Beit Shapiro that receive annually 1,500 calls from families from the Arab sector. Second thing is accessibility in general. Nowadays, Jewish people, people with disabilities, they talk about many kinds of accessibility, like physical accessibility, intellectual accessibilities, hearing impaired accessibility. But in Arab community, we are still talking about the blue parking, the parking for the disabled people. Yeah. So
in your opinion, how would you rank Israel in terms of being disability friendly?
It differs from Arab sectors and Jewish sector.
Yeah.
I think that there's more to achieve in that domain, especially in raising awareness. This day is so special for us for raising awareness. Providing an accessible environment for people with disabilities to fulfill their potential. There's a way to go. There's a way.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the work that you do at Beit Shapiro.
I'll talk about the projects that we are doing in celebration of International Day for People with Disabilities. We are debuting an awareness campaign in the Arab community about accessibility. This is the first time. There were campaigns before, but all in Hebrew. This is the first time in Arabic. We have a parents leadership group that has written a white paper about the abuse of children with disabilities, and they sent it to Knesset members, education departments, and other responsible authorities.
What does your organization need in terms of for it to be able to continue its work to help disabled people?
That's a good question. Through raising awareness, we believe in offering inclusive communities. So we need to work more on awareness in the community. People to have more collaboration with authorities and with other NGOs. That's it, I think. Yeah.
Amazing. And before I let you go, tell me a little bit why today is such an important day. Tomorrow, sorry, International Disabled Day.
Yes, it's so important because it's focused on the values that we are working on at Beit Issie Shapiro, like inclusive community. It's not only about providing services, it's about changing the attitudes of people. So this day allows us to do these different projects and campaigns in order to raise awareness.
Yes, and you mentioned those attitudes. I mean, quickly before you leave, just tell me a little bit of the attitudes that disabled people sometimes face, unfortunately.
Sometimes people are not knowledgeable about the difficulties that people with disabilities go through in daily life. Like I've talked about blue parkings. Sometimes people park at this parking when they shouldn't. Sometimes they park on the ramps. They don't understand what are ramps for.
Yeah.
Also, like my father is hearing impaired, so many times that I face people that speak to him during Corona. People speak with my father with a mask on, and they don't
which makes it so much harder to understand him. Salsabiel, thank you so much for coming in today. We really appreciate it, and your work that you're doing is amazing.